Welcome to Movie World Plus, the place where we talk movies, plus streaming, plus whatever else I want to talk about in Hollywood. And today I want to talk about Stranger Things Season 4. Oh my goodness! Guys, there's a reason why this season was better than the previous seasons, but I feel like was also better than most other TV shows I see today. There is a reason for it, and I'm going to break that down. I also just want to gush about the show because I finally finished it. I'm going to tell you why you should watch the show if you haven't yet already, and then at a certain point I will discuss some spoilers, but I will warn you before we go there, and I hope you will tune out if you haven't yet seen the show so you don't ruin any surprises. But Stranger Things Season 4. Why is this better than the previous seasons or better than most shows? Well, let me tell you why. The Duffer brothers, the creators of the show, actually did an interview with Deadline, and they talked about some of the inconveniences of the pandemic, and they mentioned the fact that it's always tough bringing the younger actors back because it's always like a race against time as they age, and typically they're growing 6 months to a year before they come back, and that's usually the problem. However, they reveal that this season things were different. We were shooting for about 3-4 weeks when we got shut down. On a typical season, we've written about 4 or 5 of the scripts, and Ross and I stopped working on the scripts because we then go direct the first 2 episodes. We direct the first 2 episodes, and then we start to frantically try to finish the season up as production continues. It's always a little bit frantic and scary. It's hard to make big pivots, and it's hard to look at the season as a whole. So this year, for the first time, we had 6 months off, and we were able to finish all the scripts. Look at it, how it all played out as a whole, and rework some of the earlier scripts to make character moments more resonant in the back half of the episodes. I think we were able to go back on a reread and go, you know what? I've always thought that scene could be better. I always felt we could set up Eddie better in episode 1. This scene between him and Chrissy in the woods, the drug deal scene, there are scenes that move the plot forward, and it was like, ooh, wait, this is a real opportunity to not only set him up as a guitarist who plays a role in the finale, but it's like, ooh, we could really enrich his character and Chrissy's character in a way that I think was super impactful. So it was an unusual circumstance that we'll never probably find ourselves in again. Now, right there, it revealed so much. This is so rare for TV shows to be able to finish out the entire season and then have time to really look at it from afar. I call that like the Doctor Stranging, where you like, you know, ghost yourself back to look at everything and be like, all right, now what? What can we fix? When you're doing a movie, you're ready to finish the whole movie, right? You finish the script and you finish it all and you're like, all right, we got the plan. And there are some shows like Breaking Bad and others when you get popular where the sort of creators sort of insist, let me finish this out. But more often than not today with the Disney-ified version of shows with Marvel, I mean, Kenobi is probably the perfect example of where it felt like that just was, they did not take the time to really step back and really think about it before they went and started shooting. They were shooting, they canceled it, then they have deadlines, you got to make it, and I think it is killing content. We are so obsessed with quantity that we've lost focus of quality. And I'm so grateful that Netflix didn't even give them the time. They just had to because of the pandemic. But because they had more time, they were really able to stop the show, take a moment, gather their thoughts, and make the characters and their moments more pivotal. It's really what takes the show to another level when you actually have everything connecting and parts of the beginning connect the end. But it wasn't even just like this season was all lined up nicely. They were going back and tying up loose ends from all the other previous 3 seasons. Everything. A lot of people don't like the mall finale and season. I liked it. And that stuff with Billy really paid off in this season, I felt like. There were a lot of moments throughout all the seasons of Stranger Things, which I did a rewatch with my daughter. It was so fun to watch with Valeria. She loves the show now, and we watched all 3 seasons over the past several months leading up to watching part 4. And it was just such a joy to rewatch. And it's a really good show to sort of introduce new generation into sort of the whole 80s style of content. Yes, Stranger Things borrows a lot from everything, like literally everything, but I feel like it does it with love and it finds its own way. And I like that it's a nice big 80s feel. I miss 80s content. I really do. I think a lot of people do. It was popular and it still stays popular for a reason because it was just good. It was just, there's a quality to it that I just don't see as often these days. There's also sort of an edge to content back from the 80s that I still don't see as much today. And I feel like Stranger Things really wasn't afraid, especially this season, to go more mature, to go scarier, to go a little bloodier, to really, take the show to that next level. So if you have not yet watched this show, I implore you to give it a shot. It's, I think, now Netflix's best piece of content they have. I'm very excited for the finale, which is not going to be for another couple years. So you guys have time to catch up if you haven't already. I highly encourage you get into it because if you've liked any of the seasons, if you've enjoyed them, you really should commit to finish and get to season 4, because season 4 is just really well done. There are some amazing moments. My God, the music cues in this show are better than most. I usually love a good cue in a movie or a show that turns a song into another iconic moment for a song, and this show had several of them. And the actors, all of them, stepped up like crazy. They really they stretched the show out a bit. At times, I wanted them to get to where I wanted, but I also stretched it out to really allow each character to have arcs, to have moments, to have really emotional beats. It did a fantastic job this season, and I give all the credit to the Duffer brothers and everyone behind the show and all the actors. It had all these amazing characters, but then it brought in some new ones as well, and everything felt justified. And even some other stuff that I was like, what? There's some silliness, don't get me wrong, but I just had fun. It was really fun to visit back to this era with these familiar characters, and it was a surprise that it actually was getting better instead of feeling overdone or like, all right, enough is enough. And I gotta say, I'm grateful that they have a plan in place. I feel like a lot of TV shows, especially stuff on like the CW, I'm looking at you, Flash, I gave up. The Flash never knows where it's going. They make them write like 30 episodes a season, and they're just running in circles trying to keep afloat. And to know that this show is able to really plan out a path the way they wanted to me, that is the future of good television. And I hope Netflix and other outlets and streaming outlets really step up and realize we want quality, not just quantity. Enough with we need this Marvel show stretched out to 8 episodes. Whatever it's going to be, make sure the story and the characters are worthy. And I got to give Stranger Things, especially season 4, for props for really delivering on that. Now, all right, if you haven't yet watched the show, I encourage you, go watch the show. I am now going to talk about my feelings of season 4 a bit more, and I am going to discuss some potential spoilers. So if you haven't yet, please, now's your chance to dip. Don't spoil it. Go watch it. It's a lot of fun. In fact, before you go, though, hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell for all alerts and smash that like button, okay? Now, for the rest of you who watched the show, oh my God, how good was this? I loved it. I had so much fun with it, and it did trick me. It tricked me at times. I mean, I saw it at a certain point. I did saw it coming with Vecna, and I did make when the orderly was helping Eleven escape is when I was like, okay, clearly. Oh, now I get. I didn't realize he was Vecna, but and then I was like, is he? It was a little bit. But I realized, oh, he's the one who's murdered. Oh, okay, that's what's happening. Because I was, why is he doing this? And I had fun watching it and seeing it unfold and having those twists and turns, having the 11 versus Vecna showdown, having Vecna be the sort of connection to a lot of the other previous things throughout this, and 11's involvement and all that. I thought this was all really, really smart to really help the franchise have questions answered. And I was grateful that they really took time to connect it all. It wasn't like they just did a random season. They're like, no, we're gonna come up with we're gonna justify all of it, and then we're gonna take it next level. Let's go through. I mean, come on. The fact that they elevated Max so well, and the actress here, why did I forget her name? She's fantastic. I know she was in the Taylor Swift video. Sadie, I think it is. Anyway, wow. She was fantastic this season as Max. Literal tears at times throughout her character arc. Really let her step up. Her connection to Billy, the loss, the depression she's going through. Oh my God, it was so beautifully done. And of course, that Kate Bush cue. Oh, I can't think of another show moment where a song has been that iconic, and I just can't. It was so beautifully done, and I'm so happy for Kate Bush that song's now all over the streaming. My kid's been listening to it like crazy. We all have been. It's such a worthy moment. It added to the scene. Both the song and the content helped each other to create it to another new moment. And this scene, this episode, it was so well done. So well done, so creative, scary, stakes, bravo. And then the two standouts for me, Max, and oh my God, Eddie Munson. Oh, I love his character. I loved him. And this finale, another musical moment. The ending with Dustin, you guys know what I'm talking about. crushed me, but it was so beautifully done. Oh, Eddie Munson, such an amazingly fun 80s character that I'm so glad they managed to introduce, incorporate. Oh, the whole scene with Dustin talking about, how everyone just is going to forever hate him and they're never going to know that he didn't run away. He was a hero. Oh, it was just so beautifully done. I loved it. He was such a fun character. You sort of don't like him. He's annoying at first. He has that exterior. But as Dustin says, I wish people could get to know him. And the show really let us get to know him. And it was just, again, another reason why this show really was all about characters and giving their characters the moment. And I felt like two sides of the coin, the Max. And this was, to me, the season for Max and Eddie was so exciting and so amazing. And then, yeah, I got to say, Vecna was a cool villain. I really enjoyed Swamp Thing vibes, etc. But I really did enjoy how scary he was. And I really did like the twist. It's a little out there. It's going all over there. But this whole connection was dark, man. And, you think 11's done it, and it gives 11 such finally purpose, and it justifies sort of things. It took a little while. They were watching a lot of videos, and Papa, oh my God, Matthew Modine, though, bravo for being such a bad and conflicted villain. And I loved that. I loved that 11 didn't give him that satisfaction at the end, but at least said goodbye. That she was finally finding her way, and to know that number one is really behind it all, and that is she really the one who created it? Is that why? Was Papa actually just using 11 to find number one? Was that really his intent all along? He tried to play it at the end like it wasn't, but I feel like when 11 called him out and he was crying, he knew it, and he refused to admit it even to the end, and that's why she wouldn't accept and tell him, his apologies. There was just good conflict. Good drama, good conflict, and motivation for these characters, and then pitting a new character that suddenly has his foot in all the other history of the show. They are like, oh man, I'm so in for this showdown. And then the showdown is just, I thought was really well done, because there's a moment there where I thought, wow, I know there's 2 episodes and I know we're going to win, I would assume, by the end in the final, season that they're going to give us. But there was a moment there where they were really, pushing it like, no, they're not winning. We're just going to kill everybody. And there was a moment I'm like, are they going to do this? It was really well done. And yes, that is him as Vecna. Really impressive. He's the one in behind the seat. He always was. And I dug it. I really dug it. And all the other side plots, Murray steps it up as usual. This whole thing took a little while to get them there, but by the end of the day, it really did, I feel like, have a worthy payoff. And it was fun. It was like big cinematic in its own way with Yuri and everybody. I love the Russian soldier who's trying to help Hopper, and then he was a good character. It's nice to have like a positive Russian character in these shows for once. Again, and I liked all the subplots. And then the boys. I mean, Will keeps getting the short end of the stick on everything. I feel so bad. Really good actor. He's aged the almost obvious, and he's trying to play little Will. But even his tortured, like, is he in love with Mike? Is he just in love with the idea? He's just confused? And I love him and his brother. Like, there was just a lot of really good moments. I gotta say, I like Finn Wolfhard, but I still think Mike is my least favorite character. But even by the end, I feel like they finally did give him something to do where it worked. But again, everybody had their moments. Jonathan probably didn't really get as much. But everyone is really getting their moments here. And then even the CGI'd young 11, which I don't know if you guys know, Millie Bobby Brown directed her in those scenes to help. It was cool. It was a clever little trick that they were doing to have her revisit, give us the origin story without doing the 11 origin story, but have Millie Bobby Brown there today and sort of justify that she's reliving it. I thought all of it was incredibly clever, really exciting, really fun. Again, Stranger Things season 4 really stepped it up to a new level that I just was not expecting to be as good. My God, we stayed up late last night. It was a 2.5 hour finale, and I couldn't turn it off. And and a lot of us usually fall asleep even because it's late with kids and all. And we stayed up till 2 a.m. to finish that thing because we were hooked. It was just so beautifully done, and I want to applaud everybody involved. I am such a fan of this, and I hope you guys were too. What was your favorite part? Put spoilers and warning, I guess, before or so in the comments. But what was your favorite part? Did you love it as much as I did? Are you excited for the next one? If you guys watch this and like this, maybe we'll do another one talking about what they should do in 5 or something else. But thank you guys so much for watching. I just want to nerd out with you sometimes here on Movie World just to have some fun. If you liked it, hit the subscribe, smash the like, and tell me down below what you thought. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more here on Popcorn Planet. All right, wait, Movie World Plus. We're on Movie World Plus. I'm so used to saying the other one. But we're going to start doing more content here on Movie World Plus too.